My name's Clare Dooley. I came to Ireland 14 years ago after travelling. I'm originally from Glasgow. I travelled on the cruise ships and I saw the world. Because I was working on the ships, I got to see it for free, which was great. And I ended up here in Ireland 14 years ago, and Ireland was a very different place. When I used to talk in the pub, people used to all look at me because my accent was different. Now there's so many accents, no one really pays heed. But when I came to Ireland, it was great. There was employment here, and I was here and I saw the boom years. I got a job in one of the building societies, and I ended up getting into mortgages and went to work for a brokerage. And obviously in the boom years there was an awful lot of mortgages to be had. They were great years. Everyone was earning money, everyone was happy, the place really was in boom. And then it just seemed, just when you thought nothing could happen, overnight everything just seemed to change. When things did go wrong, one of our businesses suffered badly. And that dragged everything else down. I went self-employed. I qualified as a financial advisor in September 2005, went self-employed September 2006, just before things stopped. And that's really, I suppose, when things started going wrong for me personally and for my own family. We worked really hard. I think, like everybody else, you thought the recession's only going to last a year or two. We never ever thought it was going to come to the way that our lives had actually evolved to now. I'm like a lot of people out there, I think the majority, 90% of the country, where even though we maybe didn't, we could have done things better. But looking back, the good times, we just saw them as normal. We didn't see them as the good times, and we didn't know just how far we had to fall. We got to the stage where the pressure was it was becoming unbelievable. We were going through something we'd never experienced before. We were looking at other people and they were going through the same, although nobody was really openly admitting it. We tried, we worked horrendous hours. We tried our best to keep all businesses, we had three small businesses at the time, we tried to keep them all afloat. But the one business, which was in the hospitality industry, was just dragging us down, and no matter how hard we tried, every time we thought we were getting a break, something else would happen. Even if it wasn't the economic downturn, it was the weather, or it was burglaries, it was horrendous. It got to the stage where we just had absolutely no choice. The creditors from both business and now personal were just putting so much pressure on us. It was like we couldn't even lift our head anymore. I think we turned to family and friends, and they did help as much as they could, but we still just couldn't keep things together. Got to the stage where my phone would ring, I'd be petrified to answer it. The door would go in the house and you just want to hide. The postman, we used to chat and wave to him, where it got to the stage we were saying, is he taking his pen out? Do we have to sign for our post again? And although I can smile and laugh about it now, they were horrendous times. We tried everything we possibly could to just try and stay on our feet, but there was against all odds, we just ended up, we had to close the business down. That was an experience in itself for anyone who actually has their own business. That's horrific. We then started thinking, how can we fight back? And there just seemed to be no help there. I know certainly for myself, my self-esteem was gone. I had two young children. We were both self-employed. We hadn't really worked our two other businesses, so there was no income coming from that. There was no social welfare for us because we were self-employed, and we were left to our own devices. But there was still the problem of the creditors, especially the banks. They were coming down really, really hard. And I think the realisation I eventually got to was, there's nothing there. It's gone. You can call me what you like. You can threaten me with whatever you want, but I just can't. I can't pay you just now. You need to leave me alone. So luckily, I still had my own self-employed business, Dooley Financial Services, and I thought I have to get back into that and just try and get off the ground again. So what I started doing was, because I had kind of got myself some way on my feet, there was other people that had come to me that I knew that were going through the same. So I helped them, and I started dealing with their creditors. And they were saying to me, well, what do we pay? And how do you charge someone that's no money either? But when we started looking at their finances, and it became apparent that, you know, the very first couple I actually ever dealt with, they'd let their life policy go. So I said, no, you need your life policy. You can't be paying these debts and have no life cover. So when I put the life policy in place, the insurance company paid me commission. So that's kind of how Smile Ireland started to grow. But it started, the more I started dealing with people's creditors, and the more I could see what other people were suffering and how they were feeling, it was easier for me to start actually building the business and just catering for every type of individual that's out there, and catering for the help that they need. We have so many different types of professions now come through the doors. We're well established now. I have a regular feature on News Talk, which is fantastic, because we get to reach people that we'd never have an opportunity to reach. They've been very supportive because they see the work that we're doing, and the fact that we are a free service and we've no one backing us. They obviously know of my own background and what I've came through. So, and a lot of the callers that came through News Talk have gone back to say that how it's changed things for them. And some of the professions that we get in, like we've everything from people who have lost their jobs, lost their businesses, to doctors, pilots, guards. I mean, some professions that you don't actually understand, they're hit as well. Everyone's hit. Everyone in every level has been touched in some way by the recession. And people just need someone to just take control. They're tired. They've had enough. I know, I've been there. You know, I still get really bad days where I have to drag myself out and think, no, I can do this. You know, and other people are the same. Some of the extreme cases that we have coming in, and we do have a support network with us, especially there's a lot of counsellors that we work with, because we do try and get to the heart of what people are actually feeling and what they're experiencing. We're not trained counsellors ourselves. We will help people as much as we can, and we'll be there for them, but then we also have professional help for them as well. A lot of people are at the suicidal stage, where they just can't cope anymore. They've had enough. They don't want to admit that there's a problem. And it's amazing that when we do get them in and they do admit there's a problem, they're surprised at how much help and support there is there for them. We've had people that have closed down businesses. We've had people that have lost their jobs, you know, and some of them are thinking that they can't start again, but they can. It's just guiding them. Use the support network. I mean, for companies that need to liquidate, we've a guy that looks after that. We've a company that looks after if you want to retrain and you know, redo your CV to try and get back into different employment or back into the employment you were originally in. We've the counsellors there. We've so many people there to support you. And as well as ourselves, we look after the financial end and they look after the rest. So I think that's where we came up with the tagline, financial security and well-being. Because your well-being comes first, your family comes first, and you come first as an individual. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that.